When I listen to a song, first thing I do is listen to the rough mix. And then I make decisions during the time that I'm listening on what is it that I like about this mix? What is it that I don't like? And where where are they trying to go? What's the message on this song? So I have ask a lot of questions to myself. And if the artist is there, I ask him, frankly. I don't need to come up with my own answers if the artist is there. So I'll ask him, what do you like about the rough? What don't you like about the rough? I'm not judging. I'm not making any judgments on it. I don't want the artist to start thinking that I know better than him, because if I say any of that, he won't divulge what he's really feeling. So, an ideal situation, I'm listening and I go, well, what kind of feel should this project? Where's the emotion in this song? Maybe it's meant to be happy, but with a tinge of anger, or maybe a tinge of sadness, but it's not projecting that way. But I can tell that it's recorded that way, but the singer is doing that. It's just not being supported by the band. And so what I then go for is how to project the feel and the message of that song. And at that point is when I start doodling and doing stuff until I get that. So the thinking process is just in the very, very beginning of, well, how do I want to feel? How do I want this song to make me feel? And then I stop thinking and I just move. And so it's very spontaneous. It's just, it's impulse. It's just, this works, this doesn't work. I don't care what toy I have or what toy I need. I'm just going on anything. Now, in my mind, all my gear represents certain attitudes, certain tones. So if something is lacking, I go, oh, that piece of gear will help that feel better, then that's what I pick. So it's all just quick tools in the process, but there's no real thinking going on. It's just move, move, move. Oh, now I feel a little better. And oh, what just happened? I don't feel good anymore. Everything is, and I move very, very quickly because I generally mix a song within 3 hours, sometimes just an hour. And it doesn't matter. Or sometimes it'll take all day. I'm not trying to get out. I just, as a performer, I want to feel like I'm performing. And so the sooner I understand this song and the sooner I can project how it should feel, sooner I'm done. And I don't like to sit around and get stuck on hearing a sound too much. I don't want to be listening to the kick for 2 hours. I don't want to listen to things in solo. Why? Why should I listen? If I hear something in solo, it's because I hear a problem. I'm trying to figure out why this is affecting something else, and maybe I'm missing it. So if I hit solo, boom. But as I'm building up the track, I'm just making sure that the feeling, I want that feeling, the song to feel good within 15 minutes. That's what Joe Jorgensen always did. He had the whole thing sounding great in 15 minutes. And I understand that why, because the sooner it feels good, the sooner you can move on. So that's really the approach that I take. I don't have anything, the final picture in my mind. I have the final feel of how I want it to project. And by asking the artist a lot of questions, I generally know that what my idea is going to be the same as his, which is why I ask those questions, because it could be a great mix, but it's not the direction they want. Therefore, it's a shit mix because it's not what they want, right? It's not about what I want. So asking a lot of questions helps. Today, there's less and less opportunity. The artist doesn't show up and, you're kind of on your own. But that's my approach, is basically to sit down. I haven't heard the song. I mean, I've heard the song once to say I want to mix it, or the album to say I want to mix it, and that's it. I don't do any homework. I sit down, put faders up. In general, I put the faders up on what's most important. I don't start with drums necessarily. It might be the guitars and a tambourine, because that's what feels great, and then I build around that. So it's it changes from song to song, but primarily it's about, well, what is the emotion that I want to express through here? What is this singer trying to say? What's the message? And so the message is what's going to direct how I mix this song. And the thinking doesn't really start taking place until in the final stages where I'm listening to it on my radio. I have a great monitor behind me, and I'm listening to it. And at that point where I kind of do the, this kind of thing, I'm like, oh, I'll just sit there and I'll go, and I'll scratch my face. That's the thinking now has begun, because I'm like, well, this doesn't sound very simple anymore. What is it? Because this radio of mine is like a magnifying glass. And if there's too many things going on, and there shouldn't be never more than maybe 3 elements at any one point coming at you, I'll sit there and I'll go, gee, I thought that hook was so simple, and it's not simple anymore. So that's that point where I become like the person who walks in. The producer is about to make comments. I become that person now. And I listen and I go, well, this doesn't sound good, or this sucks, or what were you thinking on this one? And I'm okay with that, because I've done my job and now I'm the other person. Because if I don't do that, then the producer's going to walk in, he's going to do that. So I to avoid that shock, when somebody walks in and suddenly you hear the mix differently, to avoid that, I start doing my own, criticism, and then I correct all that, and I go, wow, this feels really good now. So now I'm good. And that's that stage of where the thinking comes in.